Hello students, welcome to all. I am Shri Ravi Satpute, Assistant Professor, Center for Distance Education, Shivaji University, Kolhapur. As you all know that we have been started the online video lectures, and last uh, lecture we discussed about the psychological fiction. After that, the 19th century American short fiction, and in today's lecture we will very much concern with the introduction to existentialism. Existentialism is a movement in philosophy and literature that emphasizes individual existence, freedom, and choice. It states that existence precedes essence. Man exists, and in the process, man defines himself and the world in his own thoughts, and wanders between choice, freedom, and existential angst. It is based on the view that humans define their own meaning in life and try to make rational decisions despite existing in an irrational universe. After getting the information, after getting the definition of existentialism, let us turn to the introduction to existentialism. Existentialism is a term applied to a group of attitudes current in philosophical, religious, and artistic thought during the after World War II, which emphasizes existence rather than essence and recognizes the inadequacy of human reason to explain the enigma of the universe as a basic philosophical question. Existentialism may be described as a modern youngest philosophy. It is very difficult to find its roots in any of the ancient philosophers. It is a modern 20th century philosophy. Its main exponents are Soren Kierkegaard, the Danish philosopher; second one, Jean-Paul Sartre, a French writer; third one, Karl Jaspers, a German philosopher; and last one, Reinhold Niebuhr, a leading Protestant theologian. Soren Kierkegaard is often considered to be the father of them all, but Friedrich Nietzsche is a crucial figure at the origins of the developing line of aesthetic existentialism. Contemporary existentialist philosophy views man as participating in a world of things and events and in encountering other men. The meaning of human existence is that it is man's nature to exist, to stand out into reality, to participate in being, to be present to all that is. Soren Kierkegaard, the Danish philosopher, described the dilemma of the individual man more than a century ago with keen psychological insight. Next point is there the historical background of existentialism. Existentialism is a philosophical and literary perspective that focuses on the experience of an individual person and the way that he or she understands the world. After World War II, some philosophers and writers saw the world as an indifferent place without a set of universal rules that applied to in everyone. In light of the large number of casualties, the Holocaust, and the views of the first atomic bomb, post-war writers in particular found societal rules in views especially unreliable. Philosophers were trying to understand what it means to have a self and how human beings could live in an ethical existence. After the Second World War, existential writers started to think of human beings in more individualistic terms, as confused and powerless as they might be in the universe. Instead of focusing on society's expectations of a person, existential philosophers and literary figures aimed to explore the meaning of individuals created for themselves. Existentialist type themes appear in early Buddhist and Christian writings in the 17th century. Blaise Pascal suggested that without a god, life would be meaningless, boring, and miserable, much as later existentialists believed, although unlike them. Pascal saw this is a reason for the existence of a God. His near contemporary John Locke advocated individual autonomy and self-determination, but in the positive pursuit of liberalism and individualism rather than in response to an existentialist experience. Existentialism is a term applied to the work of a number of philosophers since the 19th century who, despite large difference in their positions, generally focused on the condition of human existence and individual emotions, actions, responsibilities, and thoughts are the meaning of purpose of life. Existential philosophers often focused more on what is subjective, such as beliefs and religion, or human states, feelings, and emotions, such as freedom, pain, guilt, and regret, as opposed to analyzing objective knowledge, language, or science. Existentialism philosophy is, by most standards, a very loose conglomeration of perspectives, aesthetics, and approaches to dealing with the world and its inherent difficulties. There are therefore countless permutations and flavors of existentialism which cross disciplinary lines and modes of inquiry. In the most general sense, existentialism deals with the recurring problem of finding meaning within existence. From this perspective, there are no meanings or structures that precedes one's own existence. As one finds in organized religion, therefore, the individual must find or create meaning for his or herself. Some of the popular tropes associated with existential philosophy, such as angst, boredom, or fear, likewise strike the average observer as dripping with pessimism. However, nothing in the philosophical train of thought of existentialism dictates a negative view of humanity or reality. In fact, much of the philosophy revolves around the limitless capacity for ethically and intellectually engaged person to enact change in the world. So, students, in this lecture we discussed the